understand.
I do not know how to be any more clear.
Well, do not get angry.
I'm not angry.
You look angry and bothered. Look at you. You're downright flushed.
Yes, that is what happens.
When one is angry.
When one burns for someone who does not feel the same.
You burn for me.
There are two kinds of cringe. The first kind, that one makes you recoil. You pause the show, you bury your face in a cushion, a pillow, anything close by, and you begin questioning whether the writers have ever observed two human beings interacting in real life. It's awkward, it's painful, and once it's over, everyone silently agrees never to speak of that again. It's just you try to move on. Then there's the second kind. The kind that's so spectacularly over the top, so gloriously excessive, that you simply cannot look away. It's like driving, yeah? You're driving past a car accident. It's horrible, it's terrible. Feel bad for the casualties. You know you shouldn't stare. You've already gone by, and yet, against your own will, you still want more glance. In the rearview mirror, maybe you even turn about. And that, my dear friends, is Simon Bassett looking Daphne Bridgerton dead in the eye and proclaiming he's burning. Now let's be honest with ourselves, yeah? On paper, this scene, I think it should be a complete disaster. If someone leaned across a table during dinner or something and whispered to you, "I burn for you," you most likely wouldn't swoon. You probably ask if is everything okay? Do you need medical attention? You wouldn't think it sounded like a declaration of love. Yeah? I stand by it. Everything about this scene should fail. The dialogue is unapologetically theatrical. The longing is dialed up. The eye contact lasts long enough to qualify as a staring competition. Everyone is breathing like they've just sprinted across a park. It should be ridiculous. Actually, it is ridiculous. And yet, years later, we're still talking about it. Not even because we find it funny or we're trying to laugh at it, but because somehow, against every law of historical and modern romance, Bridgerton convinced us to take this scene seriously. So today, I want to investigate one of television's greatest romantic mysteries. Why the "I burn for you" scene is exactly the kind of cringe we ought to get behind. Now, I think that if you describe this scene without any context, it sounds like something that should have become one of television's greatest accidental comedies. A man standing dramatically in candlelight, whispering that his feelings have become a physical sensation while staring at the woman he loves as though the fate of the world depends on her understanding the depth of his longing. It sounds like too much. That's because it is too much. If someone walked up to you today and said with complete seriousness, "I burn for you," romance probably would not be your immediate reaction. There'd be a moment of concern. You might wonder, okay, is he speaking metaphorically? Or maybe the most charitable interpretation would be that they've been reading a lot of 19th century poetry. Because the phrase itself, it is objectively dramatic. It does not suggest a simple attraction or affection. It suggests that this person has been consumed by a powerful force beyond their control. It sounds less like a confession and more like the opening chapter of a very passionate Victorian love story. And yet, somehow, when Simon says this to Daphne, millions of viewers do not laugh. They lean in. This is what makes the scene so fascinating. Everything about it should push us away. The intensity is almost absurd. The emotions are turned all the way up. The characters are not simply having a conversation. They're performing an emotional opera where every glance carries the weight of a declaration and every pause feels like the universe is holding its breath. This is over-the-top acting done well. It's excessive, it's theatrical, it is almost embarrassingly sincere, and somehow that is exactly why it works. I think the strange thing about great romantic melodrama is that sometimes the thing that should make us cringe becomes the very thing that draws us in. You know it's a disaster, and maybe even the intellectual part of your brain is confused as to why you're still looking at this thing, but there is something so fascinating about the scale of it that you cannot help but take another glance. Like I said, the I burn for you scene is a car crash kind of disaster. It's a romantic catastrophe, and it's a catastrophe we cannot stop watching. The reason this scene survives the absurdity of its own dialogue is because the show never once apologizes for what it's doing. That is actually a rare quality in modern romance. Today, many romantic stories seem almost afraid of taking their own emotions seriously. A character can deliver a heartfelt confession, but before the audience has time to sit with that vulnerability, someone makes a joke or something. Someone breaks the tension. Someone reminds us that this moment is a little embarrassing. It's almost as if modern storytelling has decided that sincerity needs a safety net. But Bridgerton does the opposite. It plays right into the absurdities and it owns it. I think this works perfectly for the romance in particular. The show does not step back to tell us, yes, we know this is dramatic, but just go with it. It does not make Simon self-conscious about the intensity of his own emotions. It doesn't allow him to laugh off his confession or soften the impact of what he's saying. Instead, it fully commits. It looks at a man declaring that his love is so powerful that it takes a physical and emotional toll, and it treats that declaration as completely sincere, and that confidence is what transforms the scene. Because there is something incredibly compelling about watching someone believe in their own emotions completely. Simon is not trying to sound poetic. He's not trying to create an iconic television moment. He's simply a man who has reached a point where ordinary words no longer feel sufficient. I love you does not feel big enough. I want you does not capture the intensity. So his mind reaches the most dramatic expression possible. The line is ridiculous, but it's also honest within the world of the story at least. And that is the difference. In true Bridgerton fashion, every single element is telling us that this moment matters. From the actors, the lighting, the camera work, everything. The show is not interested in realism. It is interested in fantasy. It is interested in what romance feels like when every emotion is magnified, when attraction becomes overwhelming, and when two people believe that the person standing in front of them has completely changed their world. And because Bridgerton believes in that fantasy, we're willing to believe in it too. But the real reason this scene works is not only because of the writing. It's not only because of the costumes or the dramatic setting or even the unforgettable line itself. It works because of the performance. I know, I've previously criticized performance, but hear me out. The actor plays Simon as a man who is genuinely overwhelmed by what he feels. He does not deliver the line with a hint of irony. He does not play it as a man who knows he sounds ridiculous. He plays it as a man who has spent years denying himself the possibility of love, only to suddenly find himself unable to deny it anymore. That is what gives the scene its power. Simon is not making a grand speech because he wants to impress Daphne. He's not trying to create a perfect romantic moment. He is a man whose carefully controlled world has completely fallen apart. For years, Simon has convinced himself that vulnerability is weakness. He has built emotional walls so high that even he struggles to climb over them. His entire identity is built around restraint, independence, and refusing to need anyone. Then Daphne enters his life and suddenly all of that certainty begins to disappear. And honestly, that is the part of the scene that feels the most real. Not the dramatic language, not the burning metaphor, not the fact that everyone in the room appears to have forgotten how normal conversation works. The real emotion underneath it, that is what makes it so intense. And Bridgerton, it takes all of that emotion and turns it into a full-on theatrical production. And I must say, I'm here for it. I just am. So yes, the I burn for you scene is ridiculous. It is dramatic, it is excessive, it is the kind of scene that, if done slightly different, could have become a legendary example of romantic nonsense. But somehow it avoids that fate, because the difference between embarrassing and unforgettable is often sincerity. Bridgerton never mocks its own romance. It never apologizes for wanting love to feel extraordinary. It never tells us that caring too much is something to be ashamed of. Instead, it embraces the idea that sometimes romance is supposed to be completely unreasonable. Sometimes people say things that they would never say in ordinary life. Sometimes emotions become bigger than logic. A person can walk into your life and make you feel that the entire world has shifted. Would someone saying I burn for you in real life make me question their approach to dating? Absolutely. Would I advise anyone to use that phrase casually? Probably not. But when Simon Bassett says it, surrounded by candlelight and the overwhelming certainty that Daphne is the only person in the world who matters in that moment, somehow it works. And maybe the best kind of cringe is not the cringe that fails. It is the cringe that should have failed. The cringe that is too dramatic, too intense, too ridiculous to survive, but somehow, against all logic, becomes absolutely unforgettable.